And welcome back to Who Would Win, pre-record Wednesday for Friday. I have to restart this because the damn phone rang. And this one comes to us from Ghost the Reaper. I'm pretty sure Ghost the Reaper just redid their usernames over and over again because I have like 3 different Ghost the Reapers. But Ghost the Reaper 989, who asked who would win a fight, Beerus or Ghidorah. Now this would seem pretty clear-cut and obvious if you know Beerus and Ghidorah pretty well, save for one version, and we'll obviously talk about that one near the end. So let me just be very clear about Ghidorah. Ghidorah is an interdimensional dragon hydra doomsday weapon created by aliens, I believe aliens from Planet X, who basically can absorb energy, terraform planets, just destroy worlds. Even Showa era is a planet destroyer. In a fight, I think it was in the Ultraman series, he absorbed so much energy from the sun dimmed. And remember, basic science, that when the sunlight we see is actually from the past. It takes forever. It takes a while to get to the planet, the light we're actually seeing. So he absorbed so much energy, the sunlight dimmed quickly. That's insane. Ghidorah is obviously capable of flight, is extremely tanky. Took the Legendary Series one, took the Oxygen Destroyer to the face and was fine. Had mass regenerative capabilities, was terraforming the planet just by existing. Has the capability of firing the gravity beams, which is just beams of lightning, let's be honest. Heisei's could go toe-to-toe with the Big G, although, Godzilla in the Showa era never actually beat Ghidorah one-on-one, but Heisei did. Heisei actually took Ghidorah to town. And then you have the Millennium Series Ghidorah, which was able to not only go toe-to-toe, but as Kaiser Ghidorah, beat down Godzilla. And it was only when Godzilla got his Kaiser amp as well that he was able to truly beat Ghidorah one-on-one. The problem with the Millennium series is only a couple of them are technically connected. They're like the Godzilla and Kiryu Saga movies are connected, whereas the GMK, Godzilla 2000, Godzilla versus Megara, I think it was, the weird bug thing, and Final Wars, they're not necessarily connected. GMK is definitely not connected. But if we are to compare that Godzilla to the other Godzillas, this Godzilla not only was able to tank a black hole, a big black hole, man-made black hole, admittedly, so probably didn't have the same power as the initial one, to the face, but also took the absolute zero cannon to the face, which can literally bring you, just freeze molecules down to their cellular level and just done. Molecular level, sorry. And he just took it to the face and walked away all right. I mean, he walked away with an injury, but he walked away. And he has mass regenerative capabilities. And took a meteor to the face after blasting with his atomic breath. So, Millennium Godzilla is tanky AF. And then you should note that Ghidorah has shown up in other properties. Like I said, Ultraman. And Mothra. Mothra's one of the only other kaiju who's actually been able to one-on-one beat Ghidorah. And that Ghidorah was insane. That Ghidorah actually was the reason that dinosaurs went extinct. And Mothra needed a couple amps herself to be able to beat Ghidorah in that one. But obviously, the one I am referring to here let's talk about Beerus real quick. Beerus, obviously, as the god of destruction of the Universe 7, is one of the strongest beings in the whole series. He is capable of tapping his finger and destroying half the planet, probably the full planet, honestly. Capable of erasing the existence of weaker individuals. And at full, skilled martial arts, highly tanky and durable, knows a little bit of Ultra Instincts, which allows you to just react as is, and is strong enough to destroy the universe. It's stated when 2 gods of destruction duke it out, they would just destroy the universe, no problem, not even going full power. But we know Beerus is universal in threat, and honestly, Beerus and most gods of destruction are actually more a multiversal threat in terms of level of power, because not that they destroy the multiverse as a whole on their own. Zeno can do that, no problem. But the fact is that full power, they can destroy a universe. So if they wanted to, they could go universe to universe to universe, destroy it. So that makes them a multiversal threat. Beerus is a multiversal threat. Which means any version of Ghidorah, save for the last one we'll talk about, doesn't stand a chance. Because no version of Ghidorah, and we're not doing the video game series. I want to just address this right now. The whole video game series thing, I never played those things, and it's one of those things where, because a being can do this and this and this, doesn't necessarily, it may mean that they are hyperversal or whatever, but that is just, I feel like as fans, we take certain things out of. I mean, I even looked it up. There are versions of Godzilla that are apparently hyperversal, which I'm like, okay, this is just getting stupid now. Um, but these are like game versions of them, not like the movie versions of them or whatnot. So it's like, well, I never played these games. I'm at least actually very aware of the movies and even the comics to some degree, but the games, like, no, no. Because let's be honest, the games aren't canon or anything like that. If we're talking about a hyperversal version, God, hyperversal version, God, say that 10 times fast, of Ghidorah, then yeah, sure. Beerus can't do anything because he's hyperversal, but that's not fun at all. And that's one version of Ghidorah, by the way. So the movie or motion picture or whatever versions of Ghidorah you want to talk about, that we need to address, it's the anime version of Ghidorah, who is not even an interdimensional, is like a being that exists in between dimensions, who, feeds on plants and dimensions and absorbs energy, but it cannot exist in a corporeal form in our world. Does not exist in a corporeal form so long as he is anchored by the being who he's tethered to. If you get rid of the being who Ghidorah is tethered to, if you get rid of the being he's tethered to, he's still bound by the laws of that world. Granted, he's still a giant his actual physical length is hard to imagine. I think there is an actual model of his true size, and it's massive. Like, he dwarfed Godzilla. He's always dwarfed Godzilla in size, but this version dwarfed the biggest version of Godzilla in size. So, he's huge. And it took Godzilla, that being said, once he was corporeal and was bound by the laws of that world, Godzilla blasted him back and blew up the singularities that he basically showed up in. So there's that. So that is the one version of Ghidorah that we need to discuss here, because it's the one version of Ghidorah that if Beerus can't find the tether to the world that keeps him incorporeal, is Beerus capable of actually doing anything to him? Well, while this particular being is extremely powerful and Beerus might actually see it as a bit of a challenge, especially when it's a capability of absorbing energy, it's still also a very slow, clunky monster. I mean, it's warping space and time just by existing in that universe, whatever it's in. But it's very slow and clunky, and Beerus can easily just go, as soon as it's about to maybe chomp on Beerus, like, oh, nope. Oh, well, this has been fun. And then Beerus uses Hakai. Now, a very powerful Hakai he'd have to use, but he uses Hakai. And the sad thing is, for anyone who's trying to root for Ghidorah here, is that Beerus, we see says there's nothing Beerus can't destroy. We see him killing a ghost. We see him Hakaiing a spirit in the anime. And while Ghidorah technically isn't that, he's incorporeal like a spirit, which means Beerus can still very easily just do that if he wants to. It doesn't seem like he'd be immune to the abilities of Beerus, just because spirit-like beings aren't immune to his abilities. So even though that version of Ghidorah might pose a problem if he actually latched on to Beerus and drained some of his energy, first off, Beerus isn't letting that happen, and second off, Beerus has shown that he can just kill incorporeal beings. So unfortunately, while that one's the one you have to debate a little bit, ultimately, Beerus would still beat Ghidorah. So it seemed like a pretty clear-cut answer, but the anime Ghidorah was the one that did raise some questions. So for my money, I got Ghidorah. But who do you got? Let me know. Oh, sorry, I got Beerus. Sorry, Beerus. But that's just my opinion. Who do you got? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.